So, I want to put a spotlight on one scheme which seems to have identified this competitiveness challenge. Now, the tragedy is you have explained why our small sector is not competitive, but why is it that our big guys are not competitive? I mean,
Right.
they got all the, say the menu of incentives,
Right.
but they're yet not competitive. If you open up tariffs, half of them won't be able to survive. Isn't that very strange?
Right, right. So this scheme, the production-linked incentive scheme, definitely, I mean, what I feel is it came into force or it was implemented just because to help the industry scale up, given the fact that we have high costs and difficulties in doing business. Again, it's related to the topics or the issues that I've mentioned, lack of R&D, innovation, absence from the high-tech segment of products. So to help the industry, progress to that kind of manufacturing, this scheme came up to incentivize them to scale. But again, the problem that I've seen is that it's been there since 2020. It covers around 14 sectors. Um, and there have been some success stories like the smartphones. So we have seen that smartphone the exports share of smartphones from India, it has increased, and foreign companies like Apple through Foxconn, they have come into India. So there have been some success stories, but I would not say that it has been a comprehensive success. To this end, I can talk about like 3 points. One is, I've visited some of these factories, smartphone factories. These PLI beneficiary firms, they are mainly into assembly. So we are still into that assembly stage. So we import goods from China, input items from China, and then we are broadly in the assembly stage. So we do not produce or are into manufacturing from the very scratch. So that is one thing. So these beneficiary firms are mainly and broadly into the assembly part of manufacturing. That is one. Second, I feel that high import tariffs on final but broadly on intermediate goods, while we have reduced for the champion sectors like mobile phones, but then still we have high intermediate import tariffs for many of the other sectors. So it definitely undermines the benefits, the potential benefits that the PLI scheme can give to the sectors. So that's the second thing about PLI. And third, what I've seen is that, and after my discussion with the industry also, what I've seen is that there are many sectors where there are no takers for PLI still. For example, to give a few examples, one is textiles, another one is white goods. Now, what the problem is that a sector like textile, it operates on very thin margin. And sometimes, the eligibility criteria for being eligible for the PLI incentives, it does not fit the MSME sector, which it broadly constitutes the textile industry in India. So MSME sector is too small for the kind of requirements that the PLI has put out. So it's not consistent with the kind of players you have in the sector and kind of eligibility that you require for a sector to be able to take benefit from the scheme. So yeah, these are some of the problems with the PLI scheme, but more than that, it gives us some time to work on our competitiveness factors, because it's just not that government would give you incentives and you can just start exporting, but then you have to work on those fundamental problems of why are we not doing much of R&D. So while government has been giving them incentives to do more R&D, to innovate, but then there's not much competition within the domestic industry, or you are not allowing competition from the global market, for the firms to take up more innovating technologies, or innovate through more R&D. So that is where that's the reason we are still stuck at low value added items rather than high value added items, which countries like China and Vietnam are now focusing on.